All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So the first day of mandatory minicamp just wrapped up. Aaron Glenn just met with the media. Practice is over. Let's dive in, right? We have a ton of different reporters chiming in what happened at practice and everything. Let's talk about the attendance, right? 100%. Once again, it's 100%. Right now, of course, some guys can't participate. Jermaine Johnson, he can't go out there and practice. By the way, Aaron Glenn did say that he's going to be ready for the start of the regular season, maybe training camp, but there is a possibility that he could start or end up on the PUP list, physically unable to perform list, which, you know, it is what it is. Let's not rush the guy back from an Achilles injury. It's, given his age and everything like that, we just need to give him time. But Malachi Corley was the other one who didn't participate. He's also dealing with something. But I mean, as far as just overall attendance goes, it's 100%, which is fantastic. But diving into the practice, supposedly Justin Fields looked great, had a really, really good day connecting with Garrett Wilson, connecting with Josh Reynolds. And another positive that came out of this practice here, supposedly Justin Fields was getting rid of the football a little bit quicker, right? So that was one of the talking points. Okay, you know, Fields has looked good. He's had zip on the football. He's kind of, giving the Jets this different style of leadership than they've had before in the past. Kind of this, let's prove it on the field. I'm not the biggest rah-rah guy, quiet leader type of thing. Galvanize the guys in the locker room by just being one of the guys, if that makes sense. But the big knock, again, it was, he might be holding onto the football too long. That's been an issue before in the past, whether it was at Pittsburgh or Chicago. It has got better. Because you go back and you watch rookie Justin Fields, there was a lot of moments where you're like, get rid of the football. There is that guy wide open. Can you trust your eyes a little bit more? And again, people were talking about how it was popping up a little bit at Jets OTAs, the voluntary OTAs, here and there, right? Not on every single play, but it was a little bit of, again, just kind of a talking point here. But I think for me, it was like, hey, he's learning a new system. He's with a new team. He's trying to form connections and chemistry with the other teammates and coaches. And he also knows that he's not going to be getting hit. There's no actual subconscious urgency to throw the football, to actually get rid of it, right? Because Will McDonald's not going to break off the line and just spear you into the ground. It's just not going to happen, right? So that, I think we'll have a pretty good idea through the first, I want to say 3-4 weeks of the schedule, if there is a big issue with that. But hey, positive practice today, positive news here. The ball's coming out quicker. I will take that every single day of the week. Garrett Wilson had a good day. One interesting kind of storyline to watch here. One thing that I'm personally interested in, return game, punts, kicks, and whatnot, because I feel like, we have a lot of capable guys, whether it's Isaiah Davis doing the returns, Malachi Corley doing the returns. We've seen some success with Xavier Gibson. Go back a couple years with that Week 1 Bills walk-off. It was a crazy, crazy moment. But Arian Smith was actually returning punts today, and I find that really interesting. Now, again, of course, Corley is hurt. He's not out there taking reps. So is Arian Smith out there as like the go-to backup? Or is this a little bit of a showcase potentially on a job that he could contribute in year one, whether that be punt return or kick return? He was doing punts today, to my knowledge. But definitely interesting storyline. That could be a cool little battle in preseason to watch. So overall, good practice. Of course, no injuries. Awesome stuff. That's obviously number one priority in all these different practices. But before we dive into the Glenn Presser, I did want to give a special shout out to today's video sponsor, Hule. So I wanted to give a special shout out to today's video sponsor, Hule. They actually sent me over a bunch of these drinks. They're kind of ready to drink meals. Just super easy, just grab and go. I've been drinking them over the last couple of days. Typically, I like to just have black coffee in the morning, and then as we creep into the afternoon, then I'll have my first meal. But instead of the first meal, I've been using these shakes. So each bottle at 500 milliliters is 400 calories, 35 grams of protein, 27 vitamins and minerals, high fiber, low sugar. And for me, again, I kind of like to skip that first meal. And so with these, I love to just kind of grab, I can just take it out of the fridge, leave. I don't have to worry about, doing the whole protein shake thing and leaving the protein shaker in my car and doing that whole thing. I could just take that, go, and I don't have to worry about it. It's just kind of all in one. And if you use my code Jetscentral, you'll get 15% off plus a free gift over at Hule.com, and the link will be listed down below in the description box. But yeah, they're super good. This one's a vanilla, but they sent vanilla, chocolate, strawberry banana, and iced coffee, which was my favorite one. So again, 15% off plus a free gift using code Jetscentral over at Hule.com. Thanks so much for sponsoring the video. So the Glenn presser just wrapped up, and I got to be honest, I think there were actually some pretty interesting takeaways, right? The one thing that really strikes me in all these different AG pressers, because it's not like we're going off of 2 or 3, right? We actually have a decent amount of Glenn pressers to really go off of. Literally in every single one, there's a sense of, or like a feeling of clarity. Because, I mean, with certain coaches, certain general managers, you definitely felt this, or I definitely felt this way about Jeff Ulbrich and Saleh to a certain degree, Gase too. Like, if they are asked a question that they either don't know the answer to, or they don't want to answer, or maybe they want to answer it, but they don't want to be rude, and they're kind of trying to dance around it, or they're walking on eggshells, or you can just tell by looking at them, like, they either don't know the answer to this, or they don't want to answer this for whatever reason, giving information to another team or something like that, and they're trying to like beat around the bush. But Glenn, it's very black or white. Like, he has an answer for literally everything, which I really, really like. You never feel like Glenn doesn't have an explanation, a highly detailed explanation on why they're doing the things that they do. He was asked about defense, right? Something that stands out, speed, right? What has he been most impressed with? Anytime he's asked a question, it's boom, here's the answer. And if he doesn't want to get into it, he just doesn't. Actually, my favorite part of the presser was when he dove into the 3 parts of the game, right? Offense, defense, special teams, and listed off the number one thing that he wants that group to focus on. For offense, it was efficiency, right? Being efficient and every positive that comes with that. On defense, it was communication. Glenn said that it's been getting better. It was one of the things that he talked about early on in the process, and he would like to continue to see that grow. Not like it's a sort of weakness or anything like that, but just, that was the thing that he brought up number one for defense. And then on special teams, it was being prepared for different looks, specific looks that the Jets can face midway through the season. We all know the importance of special teams and how many games and moments were ruined last year because of special teams. And obviously in seasons prior, missed kicks, fumbles, muffs, many mistakes, right? If you're a Jets fan, we have seen many mistakes on special teams where we just kind of beat ourselves, and it's super frustrating. It's hard enough to go out and execute and beat another team, but if you are working against yourself by having just stupid mistakes, it just makes it that much tougher. So I'm excited about the special teams. It feels young, it feels hungry. Chris Banjo running the show, brand new special teams coordinator, first year in this role. And obviously Glenn has working experience with him before in the past. So, man, I'm really looking forward to it. Now, another thing Glenn hit on is the joint practices, right? There will be joint practices with the Giants, one in Florham Park, one at the Giants facility. And joint practices are kind of like 50-50. Some fans love it, some fans hate it, right? You kind of feel like, on one hand, the positives, ramped up energy. Players can really unleash. They don't have to hold back. They can kind of take off the governor, if you will. They maybe, at that point in training camp, guys kind of get tired of hitting their own. You're going up against a different scheme. You're going up against different skill sets. It's going to be a solid test. For example, like Membu going up against Abdul Carter and Brian Burns. Kayvon Thibodeau, as opposed to going up against the same guys that he's seeing every single day in training camp, excluding, of course, preseason games. But, in a practice setting where those guys can really just unleash off the edge and not really have to worry about, injuring the other team, and they're just going, full green light, that's like, the real competition. Like, hey, we can really make some strides here. And you also kind of feel like energy is ramped up. urgency is ramped up. You don't want to go out there making a fool of yourself or your teammates. You don't want to drop the ball. So everyone's kind of playing with this extra fire. But then on the downside, you do typically see injuries. You do typically see fights, things that kind of carry over. Maybe there's like whatever extracurricular activities taking place after the play, which slows everything up, and things just kind of get whatever, a little testy. And I know that's not for everybody, but yeah, anyway, joint practices with the Jets and the Giants will be coming, and let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Minicamp day 2 tomorrow. I don't know if the media is going to be there, but they will be there on Thursday. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts, and as always, go Jets.